Okay, gonna make a quick video. This is sort of the final prediction on the eve before the fight. Obviously, Tyson Luke Fury against Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. I don't change predictions, and I made mine a while ago. I talked about all the abuse Fury had given his body, those 20, 30 pints of beer he was drinking every day, and goodness knows what else he was doing to himself. I think of course, my prediction was that ultimately Whyte would stop Fury. Getting this in now, because suddenly G-Man's come out with a video saying exactly what I said. But of course, I hadn't actually posted the video, and I just sort of redoing it now I've listened to G-Man's, because it's interesting. We seem to have a strange similarity here, except that he says he gets these feelings come across him as though he's some kind of, psychic or whatever. But that's not why I'm thinking it. I was thinking about more about punishment that he's given his body in the past. I think he's been somewhat flattered by, yes, obviously he beat Deontay Wilder brilliantly in the second fight, and in the third as well, ultimately, beat him down and stopped him, but he did get knocked down twice himself. And it may have just flattered Tyson just a little bit. Certainly, everyone talks like he can't lose. The bookies think he can't lose. And this is not my feeling. My feeling is he's, getting into his early 30s. Is he 32, 33? Did terrible things to his body. He's been knocked down a lot of times. Okay, he's always got back up, but I think there's a lot of abuse there. And, Dillian's called the body snatcher for a reason. I can just see now that left hook kind of landing in the liver. He could be hurt to the body. He's got a lot of body to try and cover up. So, obviously, Dillian himself, we don't know. I think, personally, when he fought AJ with that, that monstrous uppercut, okay, it didn't stretch his neck like it did when, Klitschko got hit with one in the 11th round, but it was pretty monstrous, and, it did nasty things to Dillian Whyte. I don't think he's ever quite been the same in terms of punch resistance, and it kind of helped, that thing that Povetkin landed on him, flipping heck, that was a bomb. So he can get hurt. And the other thing is, despite what Fury's done, he does appear to have the stamina. Obviously, he slows down later. Everybody does. But, look at Dillian against Joseph Parker. He was just dead on his feet in the 12th round, wasn't he? Everyone thought he was going to lose it in the last 30 seconds. He just managed, just using his grit and determination and running on fumes, he got through that fight. But, that, heart in the mouth moment, being a Dillian Whyte fan. I'm also a Fury fan, so it's tricky for me. But I've just been with Dillian because I really think that... let me tell you why I came to this conclusion. So it's the abuse that he's done to his body in those recent years, all the weight he put on, all the alcohol he took, all the other things he was snorting and whatnot. I think, there'll be metabolic weaknesses there that could be exploited by, a body attack. But also, the way I see it is that this could initially start as rather an easy fight for Fury. Certainly he's not taking it lightly. I believe he's coming about a stone lighter in his last fight, where I don't think he took Wilder really easily. He didn't overlook him, but it was more the troubles, with his unwell son and so on. That was one of the reasons. But possibly he did think Wilder would be easy, as it was. He made it seem in the second fight. So, but this one's none of that. He's clearly well trained. Been doing all the sparring, showing off his boxing southpaw and stuff. Do I think he's going to come out southpaw? How do I see the fight going in a summary? I think at the start he'll come out orthodox, because he is orthodox, even though he can fight southpaw, and he's got the footwork to turn, and he used that very effectively. Thinking in the second fight, he certainly dropped Wilder with a southpaw left hook. Just because when he was chasing him down, if you can switch from side to side, you can hit people from either side. It's a really useful skill to have, not to have to keep rearranging your feet, just to be able to, use the logical hand and, use the feet when they're in the position for either. It's great to be a switch hitter like that. But I don't think that's where he's most comfortable. He's not got that same power in his left from the back as he would if it was right from the back. So first few rounds, I see Fury's longer jab getting the better of Dillian's, but I also see that Dillian is pretty wily, pretty good with his kind of upper body movement, and he actually has an excellent jab. It's something he's definitely developed. I remember in the Parker fight, Parker's got a very good, very fast jab. Certainly against AJ, they were, pick and kind of fight almost in many ways. So, jab in front, and that's probably what it was for most of it. And but I can remember certainly the early rounds, Dillian really being able to land. He's got long arms, and he could jab to body, jab to head. I think he even hurt AJ when they fought with a jab to the solar plexus, if I remember rightly. And but I see in the first four rounds or so, Tyson Fury really alert, feet moving fast because he's lighter, using all of those long-range boxing skills to try and pop Dillian with the jab. And of course, if the round's close, it's going to go to Fury, isn't it, on the cards? I don't really think there's much of a chance of Dillian winning on points unless he knocks Fury down multiple times, which is probably unlikely. Obviously, Dillian's going to be jabbing and stuff, trying to get in, but I suspect that Fury will be able to tie him up on the inside, and he'll be very, very aware of the speed of that catch and counter, that left hook, just the speed. It's like Dillian doesn't seem like the fastest puncher, but that left hook can be like lightning, and it's dangerous. But I think Fury's more unaware of that, and so he'll be looking to negate that. And he does have those inside skills, and he also is very good at wrapping you up like an octopus if he wants to, and then leaning on you, and this kind of stuff. So I can see maybe the first few rounds, Dillian could be getting a little bit frustrated that probably landing some jabs and stuff, but maybe having to swing wildly and miss with his big punches. I mean, it's straight right. I know it is, I guess, powerful, but it's. I always think it is somewhat telegraphed and a bit loopy and stuff. To me, it's not a great punch. It's really, his left hook, but he leaps around with that left hook like a maniac. I was thinking of that fight, when AJ fought Klitschko, and obviously AJ was wise to, Klitschko, well, AJ was wise to Klitschko's left hook. Of course, since then, AJ has an excellent left hook as well, but how Klitschko would be swinging in those left hooks, and Fury, names for and AJ saw the tell on it. He number of times he ducked, and that left hook would sail past him. But you don't really have to do that with Dillian Whyte, because, he's pretty reckless with it, and, you don't have to do particularly complicated manoeuvres often. You just move back slightly on an angle, and it'll just wing past you, and then he'll be off balance because he's thrown so much into it. So I could see first few rounds, it going that way, just on point at range, maybe getting tied up on the inside. But I think things get interesting around the middle, because I do think Dillian will be landing some to the body, and inevitably is going to get inside a little bit. And I think he might have the best of it. I think Fury probably has the greater strength, just a bit, and certainly the height, and he may be able to out-grapple him, but he's not going to be able to throw him around like a rag doll like he did with Wilder, is he? So he's going to take some punches, and I think Dillian will work that body. I could see the middle rounds, again, Dillian attacking, landing a bit, but perhaps not having a great deal of success, and Fury still taking it on the cards. But I think then, as it wears on, Fury's going to realise this is a real fight here. This is not, like against Deontay Wilder, where he can lose every minute of a fight and hit you with a big bomb and win. It's not going to be like that at all. Deontay Wilder's straight right, we know he's fast and deadly, but the rest of it, he's got quite a nice fast jab when he uses it, quite a nice left hook, but he doesn't really use it. And, I just don't see it being like that at all. I see this as a rough, heavy, dirty fighter who really wants to win and believes that he can win too. And it's going to grind Fury down, particularly these body punches from the leftness. Obviously, Fury may be switching southpaw, trying to basically negate that left hook. But again, I don't think then he hadn't got the power in the backhand to. And I'm sure that Dillian Whyte will have prepared for that because he knows that Fury switch hits. So it's going to be interesting. But what I see is towards the later rounds, I think Fury might just catch up on him, some of that lifestyle that he had, and the fact that he had long layoffs between fights, and he's had, he's only been fighting, Deontay Wilder. It's nothing at all like Dillian Whyte. It's rock, paper, scissors, as people like Hatman and everyone else likes to say. But it's really true. I think, Deontay Wilder probably beat Dillian Whyte if they fought. But I think in this one, Fury he's gonna be getting roughed up. He's going to be getting hurt, and he's going to find. I don't think he's going to be able to put Dillian down. I don't think he's particularly got the power. can he land an uppercut like a Povetkin or, an AJ? He can't, can he? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to get hit with one, but it's not kind of got that same one-punch KO potential. And I just think as well, what I could see Fury, when Fury kind of, let's say he has been a little bit hurt, let's say he just gets dinged a little bit, one of Dillian's Whytes, he just feels it a bit. That's when Fury gets silly, It was like in the 12th round after Wilder nearly knocked him out in the first fight. What does he do? He puts his hands behind his back. Or what's he do, with Klitschko, I forget now, probably with Wilder as well, pokes his tongue at them and these kinds of things. I could see that he could be, just messing around with him, just taunting. There'd certainly be taunting from both sides, I would have thought, out there. It always makes it more fun. Unless the referee is boring and tells them to shut up. But that used to, Ali used to whisper in people's ears, didn't he? He was always whispering apparently to George Foreman, I'm going to knock you out soon. I'm going to knock you out next round. And apparently Klitschko and Joshua are like that when they form, this kind of thing. I like that. I think so. Fury might be finding it's fairly easy initially. Then it gets a little bit trickier, getting a little bit tired, a little bit slower. And I just think towards it, and he may even get a little bit complacent. I'm cruising to this one on points. He does seem to have a problem with 12th rounds, doesn't he, Fury? He can just sometimes switch off, or at points of rounds, perhaps when he's had it easy, or thinks it's easy. I think of him walking down Steve Cunningham square on with his arms down, this kind of thing. Maybe when he's getting a little bit tired, perhaps knows he can cruise to victory, or believes he can cruise to victory on points. This is when, remember that left hook that Dillian Whyte hit Joseph Parker with, who'd never been down before. The speed and the power of that. It only takes one, and I think that's what will happen. It put it down to tiredness and slowing down, sharpness going, put it down to complacency, maybe even because he's had it, more his way, everyone sees it going, maybe it is going his way. Maybe he's handling Whyte too easily. But when we're getting near those championship rounds, Dillian's not going to give up, is he? And even when he's tired, even if he's running on fumes, he can still snap out a deadly left hook. And I can just see, this is what I've predicted right from the start, towards the end there, only takes half a second, one little error from Fury, and then boom, he's down. And he'll probably get up. But then, he'll be all over him, be all over him like a harbour shark, I think it is, a Hatman likes to say. And that's what I've been saying from the start. So if I get most of my predictions wrong, I just occasionally get one right. So we'll see what happens with this one. But certainly, yeah, looking forward to it. And I predict late stoppage by Dillian Whyte. Enjoy the fight.